There you go. That'll be $29.95. Are you happy to tell us a bit about it? Because I remember we said last week, formulation is constrained by assessment. So all I know so far is that you procrastinate. So I might have to ask you some questions to dig a little bit. So could you tell me a bit about, like, when was the last time this happened?
My honours dissertation.
Okay, beautiful. And you can remember that all pretty well?
Yep.
Sort of like permanently scarred into your system? Yeah, good. Run me through what would happen, roughly speaking.
So I do initial work and then get delayed for, because life gets in the way, and then the task becomes Herculean.
Yeah.
It becomes too big, and I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, and then it's only when the panic monster kicks in that I actually.
That's it, that's it. Just turn the camera around, you've summed it all up. So why do we procrastinate? It goes like this. I have this thing to do, but some environmental thing would get in the way, such as, like, what might it be? What thing triggers it?
Kids.
Kids. You got your kids, someone else's kids?
Yeah.
Or, so not just random kids.
No, I stole it. Yeah, no, 2 kids.
So on Monday, I was on a Friday, so I lived with a 9-year-old boy, and he was like, is it your 9-year-old? So kids, kids, they want, like, food, they want clothing, they want all these things. Oh, it's so annoying. And what kind of, like, what would that do to your mind? Where would that take your mind, your thoughts then?
What, when they want things?
Yeah.
Away from the task.
Right, so, what I would call it, like, kids, just kids, whatever they need related, yeah. So maybe I should go back a step actually and be like, back here. Really, it doesn't sound like that's quite right. It sounds like you might have already been working on it, and then something comes along and breaks it up. Is that correct? Or no, you weren't working on it to start with.
I might be going to start to work on it.
So we might have thoughts about, like,
Yeah.
I need to do work, yeah? So we might have, like, a vague idea that I need to do this, but something in the environment comes along, the kids need to be fed. We then start thinking about needing to feed them. How do you kind of feel? Like, what kind of stuff does that do here? Anything really, or?
Not until later.
Not
Deal
until
with the immediate problem, feed the kids, later on, stress.
Okay, so it's not like needing to feed the kids is particularly motivating, it's just like a thing we need to do. So maybe not a feeling, maybe a behaviour, like I feed the kids. Right? But then you mentioned that because you're busy feeding the kids or doing the stuff with the kids, the work is not getting done now. So in terms of, like, the environment, so to speak, work not done. And so in fact, now we have the same amount of work to do, but we have less physical time within which to do it. And how does that feel, that realization?
Stressful.
Right. So you might then have, like, a thought, like,
Oh crap.
shock. Okay. So much to do, right? Less time to do it, yeah? Now, how does that feel? What's that feeling like? Or how would you describe, like, what's happening here, perhaps?
Yeah. Tight chest, thought racing.
All right. Just as your heart rate go up? As much? I feel like an uncomfortable feeling in the tummy,
Yeah.
like tummy butterflies, what do you call them? And if we hadn't given a label, we might, like, stressed or something like this or whatever. Just, I think, for the sake of a demonstration, we would stop it. With a client, you'd dig a bit deeper. With that, we get stressed. We get what that means. So how do you deal with that stress? What do you do to make
Suppress it.
suppress? So what would you go and do instead? Do you ever say to yourself, oh, look, this thing was very stressful. I just need a moment to kind of get back to calm, and then I'll go back to my work, this kind of stuff. So we might have, like, a little bit of what we call delusion, where we kind of just need, X, then I'll work. Yeah. So what do? What's your thing? What kind of stuff do you do to not avoid your work, but to recenter yourself, find yourself again?
Read.
Read, sleep. Good. Anything else?
You could watch television. I don't, but.
Yeah. Okay. So you might have a rest, read a book, sleep, that kind of stuff. And away we go. Now, of course, ironically, if we're reading a book, if we're sleeping, if we're watching TV, what are we not thinking about? Like, what have we specifically not gone and done that we said we would go and do?
Task.
The task. So can we see how here, this thing is no different to kids want food. It's just some other thing that isn't doing my work, right? So really now we're just going back into the same kind of loop. So this is what we call an anxious avoidance procrastination cycle. There's not rocket science. There's this thing I need to do, something comes along that throws me off a little bit. It might not even need to throw me off. I could just skip straight to this part actually. I have this work I'm supposed to do. Shit, I haven't done it. It's scary, I haven't done it. I just need a minute to get myself back on. I'll just do something else for a moment. I do something else, now there's even less time to do the work. Oh my God, I've got 6 days. I'll start tomorrow. Yeah? I'll start at 4 o'clock, it's 4:02. I may as well wait till 5. No. But then somewhere, like we won't attempt to fix it, but somewhere in there, like this actually gets so distressing it promotes a different, like, I have to do this now. And we go and spend like 18 hours at the computer straight, and we get it done. That's literally my thesis. We usually fuel it with red wine and Thai food or whatever from the local inn. So does that all make sense so far? Alright. In terms of explaining how this works, again, a lot of it just comes back to negative reinforcement. Yeah. So doing this stuff takes our mind away from this uncomfortable feeling, makes us feel better in the short term, but ironically, keeps the problem going because the work is not actually getting done. So it's no different to, like washing your hands and telling yourself that keeps your family from getting killed by bacteria. Now, I've bought all the toilet paper, that should stop the coronavirus. Well, no, it won't. The problem will come back in the future. Buy more toilet paper, it still comes back. Yeah. It's a classic kind of safety behavior. But how do we feel about that? Any questions, queries, thoughts, comments? Do we get the idea roughly? Yeah, okay, I'll turn this off. All right.